Do you want to know what's happening right now in the housing market? No, not what happened in the recent past like you'd find with a home sales report. Rather, what are buyers and sellers doing today, right at this moment, out on the street? Well, the best way you can do this is by analyzing contracts and evaluating the pipeline of contracts waiting to close. When we do this type of analysis, we call it a pending home sales report. A pending home sales report is a leading indicator of home sales, meaning it gives you an earlier insight into housing market activity than you could gain by studying lagging indicators such as home sales. The typical contract takes 30 to 45 days to close and often the same amount of time to post, so we gain a full 2 or more months of insight when we study real estate contracts versus the study of home sales. A pending home sales report takes much more work to produce, and that's why you don't see them very often on YouTube, but the information is invaluable. The word pending is short for contract pending, thus the pending home sales report measures contract activity in the market. Outside of detailed supply and demand numbers, there is no better source of current information than one can gather through a thorough examination of new contract activity in the real estate market. Today's report is a comprehensive review of new contracts, and it concludes with a revealing forecast of the coming months in the housing market. I've included a link below to all the homes for sale in Tallahassee. It's interesting to see how the majority of them are already boasting contract pending once you scroll past the luxury homes. Now, sit back and relax. I've got an insightful report for you today. By watching this video through to the end, you'll know more about the current housing market conditions than do most real estate agents who work in the business. Hi, I'm Joe Manausa, author of The Business of Getting Business and the creator of Manausa.com, where I've helped tens of thousands of people buy and sell homes. I would like to help you too. If you already are a subscriber, thank you and welcome back. If you're not a subscriber, please consider becoming one now. We offer the most thorough and accurate housing market reports on YouTube, plus answers to your real estate frequently asked questions, and we also provide virtual tours of some of the most beautiful homes in Tallahassee. Simply hit subscribe to get started and the bell so that you're the most informed buyer or seller in your next real estate transaction. Let me start by saying that the hot housing market conditions continue to amaze. As we go through several graphs, you should know that today's report was assembled from data in the Tallahassee MLS on February 17, 2021. On that date, I retrieved all sales that were closed from January 2019 through the middle of February 2021 and sorted them by contract date, not closing date. Additionally, I added all properties that are under contract and sorted the entire group by the date the contracts were written. What this data represents is all contracts written that are either still working towards closings or one that have closed escrow, thus the agreements were confirmed. What this data omits is all contracts that were written and subsequently failed to close. Each month when I assemble a pending home sales report, failed contracts are removed so that we are only left with ones waiting to close or those that successfully closed. Because of this, there's a high likelihood that the most recent months account for some contracts that will not close, while most distant months will have very few open contracts remaining, as all have either closed or failed to close by now. In other words, the past will pretty much remain the same, while the present will adjust as time moves forward. Our first graph plots each month's sales. The number of homes that were put under contract each month are color-coded, with the blue bars showing 2019, the gray bars showing 2020, and the red bars showing 2021. Currently, the number of contracts written through the middle of February has grown to just 5% fewer than those written through all of February last year, and we still have the final 2 weeks of February to go. Remember, a healthy percentage of these new contracts will not close, so it will take some time to get an accurate evaluation of the market today versus the market at this time last year. But a few things are crystal clear. For example, we need more homes today. Through all of our inventory reports over the past few years, I have pointed out that we need more homes. We need existing sellers to put their homes on the market, but more importantly, we need builders to deliver additional homes to compensate for the lack of new construction over the past 6 years. While we did see builders increase production in 2020, it appears as if they are cooling off again. I don't understand why. The blue bars measure existing home contracts, both pending and closed, by the date the contracts were written, while the red measures the same for new home construction. The red triangles report the percentage of contracts written each month that was new construction, while the red line shows the one-year trend of the new construction share of the market. Last year, 12% of the contracts written were for new homes, but the trend for new home share has been dropping for the past 4 months. As of right now, 59 new construction homes have gone under contract in 2021 versus the 75 that were written through all of February in 2020. A 21% shortfall, though we still have a few weeks left to close the gap in 2021. In the 1990s, it was not uncommon for 20% of all home sales to be new construction. And back then, we did not have an inventory shortage like we do today. Builders today could double production or even more without the risk of creating an oversupply in the market, so long as they pay attention to the areas and price ranges in which they build homes. Consider this a plea to all local home builders. We need more houses. Using the same data, I calculated the average price of homes under contract in 2021 each month and compared it with the same months in 2020. On average in 2021, buyers have been spending 4% more than they were in 2020. We have to remember that this is an interest rate fueled buying frenzy, and it will slow considerably when interest rates rise. The high end could go nearly dormant if interest rates rise substantially, and that would slow the average home price growth considerably. One thing to note, though, is that the MLS does not reveal the contract price for pending home sales. That means for homes that have closed, we're using the actual sales price, but for those that are still under contract, we're using the asking price. This means that when all homes tracked in this report close, it's likely we'll see the difference between the 2 years tighten up a little, as the majority of closed prices will likely be at or lower than the current asking prices. Real estate appreciation is soaring. This graph tracks the average home value in 2021 each month and compares it with the same months in 2020. The graph shows that the appreciation rate each month in early 2021 is averaging just under 9%. Overall, last year's appreciation rate was close to 9.5%, which is about 3 times the average we've seen over the past 30 years. With inventory remaining at historic lows, I'm expecting to see appreciation move even higher. As reported in numerous other market updates, we continue to see low inventory levels in most areas and price ranges below $600,000, and this is the biggest contributor to the accelerated appreciation rate. Now is a great time to sell a home, as buyers want to take advantage of historic low mortgage interest rates before they go away. Let's take a look at what the pipeline shows about current buyer activity. This graph identifies when the current pending and closed contracts were written, with closed contracts shown in blue and pending contracts shown in red. We do this to identify the highest buyer activity periods and to evaluate the health of the pipeline. By pipeline, I mean pending home sales and how they are distributed. Since the typical contract closes in 30 to 45 days, we have to be concerned with the number of contracts that appear in our report that are older than 45 days. Currently, about 42% of contracts are older than 45 days, which is more than double what we measured the last time we published a pending home sales report. This is a sign that there is likely to be a lot of canceled contracts within the next 30 days. If this pattern continues, I'll address it in detail in future reports. Right now, the oldest pending home sale goes back to August of 2018, which is likely a MLS maintenance issue that needs to be removed. There are an additional 8 pending contracts that are more than a year old. They're likely bogus as well. Currently, there are 638 Tallahassee homes for sale in the MLS that are under contract with buyers, pending contracts. This represents a growth of nearly 28% since our last pending home sales report. This is an abnormal, non-seasonal level of activity during what is normally a time of year that generates almost the fewest contracts of the year. If we were to add the contracts from December as well, then I would call this very high activity for what is normally the very slowest time of the year. Based upon the data, combined with what I'm seeing in the field, the only thing that will stop 2021 from posting a record year is the limited supply of homes for sale. The buyers are poised to strike, but we need more homes. It's important to understand what this means. Yes, demand has grown about 28% from last month, at a time of year where we don't expect much, if any, growth at all. Demand is amazingly strong, and the limited inventory of homes for sale means that relative demand, the demand for homes relative to the current supply in the market, has grown. Buyers are wanting to take advantage of low mortgage interest rates, so now is the best time to sell a home that I have seen in my 30 years selling homes in Tallahassee. Let's now look at a lagging indicator to see how it jibes with our leading indicator review. The year-over-year home sales graph has been set up in a different fashion than all previous graphs in this report. Note that this one shows all homes sold segmented by the date of closing, while the past graphs were assembled based upon contract dates. I include this in the pending home sales report as a bridge to our other market reports and videos that focus on lagging indicators. 5 of the past 6 months have posted gains over the same months in the year prior. In January, the market was up 15% over last January, and January 2020 was a strong month. So how strong were closings this January? We see that the number of homes sold was the third best January on record, falling behind only 2005 and 2006, when inorganic demand pushed the market to unsustainable highs. So, should we be worried about the sustainability of the current market? In short, yes and no. Yes, we need to be concerned about how the market will cool when mortgage interest rates rise. But no, the number of sales occurring right now is very much a sustainable level when you consider the population growth in Tallahassee since the market peaked 15 years ago. As an oversimplification, we're a little bit bigger now, so we should expect a few more buyers in the market. Additionally, we're not seeing the signs of a housing bubble like we did in 2005, when inventory levels started to rise. Today, inventory levels are falling, a sign that more homes are needed. Homeowners who have been considering a move need to take note. Current conditions are the best I've ever seen for getting top dollar for your home while also selling it within a predictable time schedule. I am confident that the seller's market conditions will continue for the foreseeable future, but I do believe rising mortgage interest rates will eventually reduce the advantage that current home sellers enjoy. Any student of interest rate history will tell you that mortgage interest rates are going to rise. Nobody knows when. It could happen immediately, or even next month. Maybe rates don't rise over the next few years, but certainly rates will not stay this low forever. When mortgage interest rates do rise, demand at the top of the market will erode significantly and decline throughout the lower price ranges. If you know you want to move, you should strongly consider doing so immediately, while inventories, mortgage interest rates, and certain appreciation are all working to your advantage. Regardless of what you decide, we'll be here to keep you up to date on the pending home sales in the Tallahassee real estate market. If you would like to see more videos about current housing market conditions, I've assembled a great playlist that you can view by clicking on the box on the top left corner of your screen. For a playlist of answers to frequently asked questions we've received, just click on the box below it. Please remember to like this video, check out the links below it, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss anything.